Hi.
Oh my gosh, I'm just so excited to chat with you. How are you?
Yeah, me too. I'm good, thank you. How are you? How's
I'm
quarantine
good.
going for you?
What was that?
How's quarantine been for you?
Listen, I've got to tell you, it's not easy. I live in a super teeny tiny apartment in New York City, so I like can't even get my steps over like 100 a day. But how is everything with you? How's your quarantining?
It sounds like it's been pretty similar. A little bit boring, but very necessary. But also, I've been doing a lot of like dog walks,
Mm.
which I think my dogs are kind of getting tired of because it's my only excuse to leave the house.
What the heck?
Yeah.
They should be like so grateful.
I
Um,
think they were for the first little bit, and now they're like done.
Now they're like, Lauren, leave me alone. Um,
Exactly.
so I want to give you a quick little preface. Basically, what this all is, it's our new Instagram live series called Friends from Afar. The whole point is that just because we're all social distancing doesn't mean we can't still be social and catch up with people virtually over social media. So I'm so excited that you could join us today. Have just some fun questions for you, and then we're gonna do a fan Q&A at the end.
Oh, awesome. That sounds so fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I know we kicked it off a little bit here, but give me like your top three quarantine activities. What have you been doing the past couple of weeks? How have you been entertaining yourself besides going on walks with Bentley and Leo?
Okay, I would say number one, I feel like a lot of people would say this too, but Netflix has been kind of like my go-to activity.
For sure.
I've watched a lot of movies. I don't even know, but like a bunch of random movies, like a lot of rom-coms, and like I love comedies, so definitely those. And then I would also say I've been doing a lot of TikToking with
I've
my
noticed.
siblings, a lot of TikTok dances. And then probably just school. I started last Monday, and it's not my favorite quarantine activity, but yeah, that's
So
been.
I feel like a lot of people don't even know. Like they would just assume that because you're so active in the industry that you do online schooling all the time, but you actually go to traditional high school, right?
Yeah, I go to a normal high school. I live in Toronto most of the time, and so the whole online school thing has definitely been an adjustment for me. It's been kind of crazy.
No, it's insane. I don't know how people do it all the time. Like, I think that everyone has kind of been giving, like, sleeping on a little. They're like, oh, it must be so easy to, like, be homeschooled or do it online. And it's not at all, right? Like, back me up.
No. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I always thought, like, oh, my friends are so lucky they get to do online school. Like, I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
And now I realize that you have to be so, like, self-motivated and actually just organized and stay on top of everything because it's so easy to fall behind. And it's only been a week. I, I don't even know how the rest of the next few weeks are going to be, but
Oh my
kind of
gosh.
crazy.
Yeah, well, okay, I'm rooting for you.
Thank you.
Hang in there. You got it. So you mentioned TikTok, and like I said, I was like, oh girl, I've noticed because the Orlando family, like the four of you guys, I'm not kidding, are my new favorite TikTokers. When you all team up together,
Stop.
it's like the coolest thing to see. And you're all so different. Have you had a lot of fun with your siblings, like on TikTok recently?
Yeah, well, we have a lot of fun doing the TikToks together. I think
Yeah.
especially because I like the dance ones, but
Hmm.
I'm not like a dancer, right? And so when I do them by myself, sometimes I'm like, I don't know, like I'm shy, you know?
You're
And
like,
so it's good to do, I know, I was gonna do that, and then I was like, I wonder if she spends that much time on TikTok. Only some people would get that, but yeah,
oh,
I'm shy.
I
And
spend a lot of time on TikTok, trust me.
me too, me too. And so it's good doing it with my siblings, and also we're all home alone, or like home alone together, I guess.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we're just always around each other, so we might as well make some TikToks together.
No, man, you're lucky. Imagine if you were an only child, like you would have nobody to film TikToks with.
I know, that would be like obviously the main struggle, right?
So you said you've been loving doing dances, picking up on those like trendy choreography moves and all of that. Who are some of your
Yes.
favorite creators to watch on TikTok? I know like I'm always just on the For You page, but is there anybody who keeps catching your eye and you're like, oh, I love this account?
Okay, well, I'm kind of like, I would say on TikTok I mostly follow and watch like Charlie D'Amelio and
Of
Lil
course,
Huddy and Addison Rae.
our
Like,
queens. and Kimmy.
everyone's favorites, you know.
Yeah.
But I would also say I follow a lot of my friends, and their
Mhm.
TikToks are so good too. So I would just say like the main TikTokers, I guess, and then
Yeah.
also some of my really close friends.
So back in the day, you were on Musically. Like I remember watching your Musicallys. What is it like to kind of be like grandfathered into TikTok now? Like, do you feel like it's a similar app? Have you had to adapt your, I guess, like technique? Like, what is that like for people? A lot of people just joined TikTok this past year and might not even know that like it was such a huge app as Musically, its former name. And like you were on there, you were killing it. I remember like 3 years ago, whenever that was.
Yeah, no, I was on Musically. I did a lot of lip syncs. So the
Mm-hmm.
type of stuff that people post on the app has definitely changed. Back then, it was a lot of, I don't even know, there were like a lot of lip syncs and then also some comedy videos. But now it's mostly dances and still a lot of comedy, but like different type of comedy. You have to, if you were on Musically back then you
Mm-hmm.
probably know what I'm talking about. But it's the type of stuff that people post has definitely changed a lot. And after Musically changed to TikTok, I took a little break there because I didn't really know
Yeah.
where I fit in on the app. And so it's definitely been an adjustment trying to get on TikTok, but also like it's my favorite pastime. I spend so much time on it, and so I feel like just by watching other people, that's how I figure out like what I want to post.
Yeah. Do you ever go back? Because your old Musicallys, I'm sure, are still on your account. Do you ever go back and watch them, or is that just like too hard to do?
Well, it's a little hard to do, but
Yeah.
sometimes I will get notifications or like if I'm on the notification page,
Mhm.
I'll see that people have liked my Musicallys
Oh
from
my
like
gosh.
4 years ago, which sometimes I'm like, oh, well, how did they even see that? They must have really been scrolling back there. But also, I just like it'll pop up, and so I get to see those Musicallys from a few years ago, and they're interesting. I was really little.
I know, but it's so cool to actually like have that almost like archived in a way online that you can go back and look at yourself 4 years ago. I feel like that's one of the coolest things, even though it is like a double-edged sword, but like one of the coolest things in kind of growing up on social media in the way that you have. I actually was talking to your brother about this a couple of weeks ago, months ago, right before Phobias dropped, when I had him in New York, because it's like you can go back on his YouTube and watch like music videos from 8 years ago, and it's so crazy because those are like home videos that like I don't know what I looked like when I was like 8, 9 because I was so long ago, but you guys kind of have all of that online, and it's cool to look back on, I feel
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, no, it is so cool. I think especially with YouTube because
Mhm.
I had my 7 year anniversary of like when I first posted on YouTube a few weeks ago. And it was like, it's kind of crazy, but I'm also really happy because
Mhm.
hopefully YouTube is still around when I'm an adult
Yeah.
and then I can like show my kids and be like, this is what I look like when I was your
Oh
age.
my
But
gosh,
that would be
that's so
really cool.
cute. No, I love that. So obviously, like I said, you've been on social media forever, but at your core, you're definitely an actress. I want to talk about a ton of cool projects that you've been doing lately. Yesterday on Friends from Afar, this series, we had Divinity Perkins, and we
I
were
love
talking about Total
Divinity.
Eclipse. Love her. She's the best. But I
Me
have
too.
to know, are we getting a season 5? What's going on there?
Yes, we are getting a season 5. I'm super excited about it. We actually started filming, and then as everything got super crazy, we had
Mhm.
to kind of put that on pause. But I'm hoping that I'll be able to go back to LA in, I don't even know, like a few weeks or however long it takes and just pick that back up again.
Mhm.
But yeah, season 5, I got to read the script, and it's really exciting. I think it's changed a lot since season 1,
Mhm.
and I'm just really excited for everyone to see it when we finally finish filming.
No, I'm so excited, and I love that you are like confirmed it's coming. Like I've already read the script,
Yes.
because that way like we don't have to sit here being teased. We have something to look forward to, even though we don't know when. We know it's coming soon. So I mean, the fact that it's even a season 5 is so crazy because I mean, for a digital series, I mean, I'm obsessed with Total Eclipse. I love all Brat TV series, honestly.
Thank you.
But like that's a long time, a lot of seasons, and like you said, it's changed so much since the first season. Have you seen your character, Kate, right,
Yeah,
grow and like evolve and change over those 5 seasons?
absolutely. I think in the very beginning, the whole show was just really based on fantasies, and I
Yes.
I was really into like witchcraft, I guess. And so now, yeah, and so I had these fantasy scenes where I was like a witch in my head, I guess. And so it's cool because we still have the aspects of fantasy in season 5, but also I think the show has matured a lot. And
Okay.
because we filmed the first season 2 years ago, and so yeah, now our characters have grown up. They're in their last year of high school, and everything's just more mature. I think in this season, Kate is a bit of a businesswoman. You'll have to
Ooh.
wait to hear more about that. But yes, definitely a lot of big changes.
So, what's it like to actually work on set with your best friends? Like, even coming into the first season, a lot of the cast members, like, were people that you were super close to, like, not to mention your brother, but obviously Kinsey and Emily and, like, all these people. Do you feel like you guys really have grown into a family over these past 4 seasons, 4.5? I don't know how far you guys got.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, well, going into the first season, obviously I knew my brother. I knew
You'd met him
Kenzie.
before.
Yeah, I once or twice, you know. I knew Kenzie and Nadia. I actually don't think I met Emily until the first day of filming, which is
Really?
really weird to me.
Wait, I did not know that. I thought you guys have been like best friends since forever. That's so
Honestly,
cool.
I that's what it felt like. Like we just kind of like clicked really well, and we're all just super close, and it's really great being able to spend time on set with my friends because it's like you're working, I guess, but not really because everyone's just having a lot of fun.
Do you have a dream guest star? I always love asking people this. Like, if you could write
Ooh.
one actor into Totally Eclipse, like just for a single episode, who would you want to like guest star?
Okay, well, I would say there's so many options. I would
So
say
many.
one of my favorite people ever is Zendaya,
Oh,
and she's like such a role model to me, so I would love for her to be on Total Eclipse. That would be like a dream.
that would be so cool. I like want to make it happen. I think we should DM her or something.
I'm
So
I'm on board.
good idea. So, speaking of working on set with a ton of people that you already know or people that you go really close to, you also were in Next Level this past year, 2019. That's like my favorite. I'm obsessed. The whole cast is
Thank
like
you.
as star-studded as it gets, but then it's just like so fun. Like you have the music element, the dance, the whole competition idea too. Like it gives me such like throwback High School Musical vibes, but like with a modern twist. And it's my favorite thing ever. What was it like working on that set? I know that you guys shot it in a really, really short period of time, which is so impressive because it looks like you guys, something that would take years to do. What was that movie like looking back on it now that it's out on like DVD and everything like that?
Well, thank you. It was so much fun to film, and actually, Emily Skinner is in Next Level as well, and so is Hayden, Summerall, and Brooke Butler, and just a lot of other people that I know.
Ella Rose Kaler, my
Ella
actual
Rose, oh,
queen.
she's adorable, like my favorite. And yeah, it was just really great. Again, working with a lot of my friends, but also it was the first movie that I had ever done, and
Yeah.
we did film it in, I think, like 3 weeks ish, which is a
Insane.
really short like time frame for a movie. But honestly, I think everyone just worked super well together, and it was just a really great experience.
So, a cool thing about Next Level is that we actually got to hear you sing on the soundtrack there, which was so fun. I remember like years and years and years and years and years and years ago, you did like a cover. I can't remember what it was, but I remember you doing a cover on YouTube with Johnny and being like, all right, we're going to see Lauren sing again one day. And then the Next Level soundtrack came out, and I was like, the day is here. It's finally come. I'm so excited. We got Special Places, Rebel, and it was so fun to kind of see you kind of show off this other like avenue of talent there. Was that something that was kind of nerve-wracking? Were you scared? Were you excited? What were you feeling about the whole singing element of it?
Kind of all of that. You're right. I did a few covers with my brother on YouTube, but that was like years ago, and I hadn't really done any singing online or anything since I don't even know, 20, like when I was like 10 probably, like 2015 maybe. I think that's right. And so it had been a long time, but I think people kind of wanted to hear me sing again, which was crazy, but
People. It was
Stop. No, but it was so fun. And yeah, I was definitely nervous about it, but everyone was super nice. And yeah, it was cool to do something that was a little bit out of my comfort zone.
for sure. So I have to ask because the people and myself want to see it. Do you think we would ever get a possible next level 2, like a follow up to see what everyone's up to?
I hope so. That would be really fun. I'm really hoping that we will, but I don't know yet.
Maybe Zendaya can star in that.
Oh my gosh. You know what, Zendaya, if you're listening, hit us up.
I'm sure she's watching right now. Like,
I'm
there's no
sure.
way that Zendaya is not on this live stream.
Of
It just
course.
has to happen.
Totally.
So a couple of really fun things. We talked about Total Eclipse. We talked about Next Level, huge projects you've been working on over the past year. But a kind of cool thing that isn't necessarily acting related is your podcast, this Sister Diary. I've been listening. People have been loving it. It's so cool. Can you talk a little bit about the inspiration behind that? Why you and Maddie decided to kind of, bring that to life, and where you guys hope it goes?
Yeah, of course. So I started the podcast, The Sister Diary, with my older sister Maddie at the beginning of last summer. And originally it was just supposed to be like a quick little summer activity. I don't even know, just something fun because we didn't have too much going on last summer. And like everyone, I think during the summer we were looking for something to do. And my sister is really into listening to podcasts. And I've since become more into podcasts. But yeah, we just have a podcast where we talk about a lot of like teenage issues, and my sister is 23, I think now. And I'm 15, so we have a big age gap there. And we just talk about teen issues and give advice and just kind of share what we're going through in our lives. And I think it's cool because it's content that's like an hour long instead of 5 minutes or 10 minutes like YouTube. And yeah, so we've just had a really great time talking together and being able to share that with everyone.
So it is really cool that you guys kind of have different perspectives because, like you said, you are over 8 years apart. She's the oldest in your family, you're the youngest, and you guys are at like these different points in your life. But then there are so many moments where, like, as listeners, it's really easy to tell, like, oh, like there are places that it crosses over. Do you feel like that long form kind of like storytelling is like, do you feel vulnerable opening up in a podcast on a podcast platform like that, or is it just kind of a cool moment to really show yourself in a way that you aren't able to on TikTok or like on Instagram or in these other avenues where you really connect with followers and supporters?
Yeah, honestly, it's a little bit of both. I think on the podcast we definitely are a lot more personal and vulnerable and just like real, and I think that's something that, as you said, is hard to do on some other social media platforms. So that's been really cool. But also, I really like that the people that listen to our podcast are kind of our followers from Instagram that really are interested in hearing what we have to say about certain topics and just wanting to hear more from us, I guess. And so I think we do feel comfortable opening up on the podcast since it's like a tighter community in a way.
Yeah. No, I definitely see that. And you mentioned a second ago that since kind of launching Sister Diary, you've really kind of delved into this podcast world. What podcasts are you listening to? What should I be listening to? Give me some recs.
Okay, favorite podcasts? I would say David Dobrik's podcast is really cool. Maddie got me onto that one, and I love it. And my brother, he's like standing in the door right now. I don't really know what he's doing. I think
like
he's
half in the door,
but
out.
yeah, you want to come say hi?
Are you bouncing it on Dad's notary set?
I am. Come say hi.
Oh, what's up?
He loves David Dobrik too.
Hi.
So. Hi, nice to see you.
It's so good to see you. How's quarantine?
Good, I'm chilling.
Yeah, just living
Say
life.
hi to Asher.
Oh my gosh, you were just on with Asher last week.
Oh, dope. Well, great talking to you again.
All right, bye, John.
Deuces.
He's so weird. But yeah, he's really into David Dobrik, and I think my sisters are too. And I've seen a few of his videos, but not too many, and so I started listening to his podcast, and that's a really cool one. And then also Mimi Bouchard, who She's been on the Sister Diary a couple times,
Okay.
I think twice now, and she's really into health and wellness and just being like productive. I don't even know. She totally has her life together though, and like I aspire to be her, and so yeah, her podcast is really awesome as well.
Ooh, okay. Definitely, I'm always looking for a new podcast to listen to, but then I find that like I have so many in my library and I can never keep up, and like they come out every
Yes.
week, and I'm like, I have to listen faster.
Absolutely.
But I love podcasts. I think exactly for that reason that you said, like people really build communities around podcasts because you start to feel like you know the people that you're listening with, but then also listening to. So it's like a cool dynamic that I feel like you can't really get anywhere else, maybe on YouTube and like longer form stuff. But I love it. I've been loving Sister Diary. Do you have anyone that you guys have been dying to get on the podcast? I know, like you said, you've had Mimi, you've had your parents, like you guys have had so many people who I guess we said like dream co-star for a guest appearance on a show, but who would you love to have on the podcast?
Ooh, okay. Well, obviously Zendaya's welcome to come. I mean, like, she's my favorite person of all time, so of course she's welcome on the podcast. But I think someone that my sister Maddie said that would be really cool to have on the podcast is Kylie Jenner, just because she has this whole business that she's built and she's like such a businesswoman. And so it would be cool to hear from her about that and what it's like being on a reality show. And yeah, I think she'd be pretty cool to have on too.
Would
One day.
you ever want to be on a reality TV show? Like, I love Kardashians. I think it's so cool to watch their journey, especially someone like Kylie, who like has been on the show since she was a little kid, and now she has built this huge empire, which is so admirable. Would you ever want a reality TV series?
I mean, I think I have like mixed emotions about this because I think it would be really cool to have a reality show,
Yeah.
but then also at the same time, I feel like that's sharing a lot. Like there's cameras with you almost everywhere all the time. And yeah, so I feel like it would be cool maybe for like a few maybe to be on someone else's reality show, you know, like a little
Yeah.
feature. But I don't even know, maybe keeping up with the Orlandos will be the next one.
Imagine. Oh, okay.
It would
I'd watch.
be insane.
But do you feel like, I mean, obviously someone like I've said multiple times, like you've been on social media for so long, you're 15 now, but like people have really felt like they've been a huge part of your life for so long, in the same way that we feel that way when we're watching reality TV series.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there are parts that just for your own mental health you really need to hold on to and keep for yourself and not necessarily share online?
Yeah, well, I think I do. Like, even people don't even know that I go to school. I have a whole set of school friends and stuff, so I think there is still a lot that I keep private. And I don't even know. I feel like it's important to have a balance between what you're sharing online and, you know, there's always some things that you can keep to yourself.
For sure. I feel like that's the only way to do it, to like stay healthy minded, is to really like have that balance, because if you're sharing way too much, then you don't like have enough for yourself. And the complete opposite
Yeah,
too. Like if you're not sharing enough, then you're not really connecting with people. So it's like a fine line, but I feel like you
exactly.
definitely walk it really well.
Thank you.
Of course. So we've talked about so many different things, different projects that you've been working on, hobbies, things that you've been doing lately, all the TikToks. What have been
Yes.
some of your like highlights over the years, some pinch me moments, like looking back on the past like however long? I feel like I've been watching you for so long and knowing you. Like, what have been kind of those big moments that you think you'll remember forever looking back?
Ooh, okay. Well, yeah, I started on YouTube when I was like 8, so it's definitely been a little while.
Okay, so seven,
Honestly,
8 years, crazy.
yeah, every day is kind of like a pinch me moment, especially when I'm in LA, because I'm like, I'll be going to a movie premiere or something, and I'm like, whoa, I'm going to, like, that's just so crazy to me still, even though it's been so many years. But one thing that happened pretty recently was Milan Fashion Week, and that was such a pinch me moment. It was crazy. I was in Italy, like, that's crazy on its own, but then also I went to the Dolce & Gabbana fashion show, and that's just something that I didn't know would ever happen, and it was just so awesome.
Wait, so I saw that happen and I was just like drooling with jealousy from afar, but also so happy for you. I loved the look. The ponytail was like
Thank you.
such a vibe. So I think that's awesome. Like going to something like Milan Fashion Week, which I mean, Italy in general is amazing, but then to be a part of such like an iconic moment in like the fashion world, is like
Yeah,
style and fashion something that you're really passionate about?
definitely. I think like I would love to get more into fashion. I was already thinking about doing more fashion related videos on YouTube and stuff
Ooh.
just because it is something that I really like. And yeah, honestly, I've always wanted to go to a fashion week, and
Mhm.
Italy's a pretty cool place to go to your first one, so I was really excited about that. But yeah, I would love to do more stuff in the like fashion industry, I guess.
So you mentioned that like every day is basically a pinch me moment for you because you're always experiencing things that you just are so grateful for. Do you remember your first ever red carpet that you went to? Or I
I'm
guess it could be
trying
any
to
color,
think.
pink, orange.
I would say I honestly I don't remember the first one. I have like such a bad memory. But if I had to guess, I think it was probably like a movie premiere.
Hmm.
Um, and definitely not when I was living in Toronto. So, oh, actually, wait, I think I know what it was. I think it might have been actually in Toronto. So I take back what I just said. I
Okay.
think it might have been Bufferfest, which was in downtown Toronto. And I actually have a video on my YouTube from like 5 years ago where I showed that. And yeah, it's definitely, it was like super random. That just came to me, but I think that was the first one.
That's so cool. So what is it about Toronto? I need your opinion that like breeds like mega stars. I feel like there are so many cool people in the Hollywood world that come out of Toronto. Like what's in the water up there?
Honestly, I'm not sure, but I feel like Shawn Mendes came from here, and he's like my favorite person ever. And so, well, him and Zendaya, like they're tied for
Together.
number one. And so, I don't even know. There must be something. Maybe it's the cold weather that keeps everyone inside. Everyone's looking for something fun to do, you know? And I think maybe that's how it starts.
Wait, so you're a huge Shawn Mendes fan?
Yes, he's
Have
my
you ever
favorite.
met him? I know Darian and John met him like right before the Grammys, right?
Yeah, I have met him. I wasn't with them when they met him around the Grammys, but I once was on the same plane from Toronto to LA as him, which was really
What?
crazy. I don't think I actually said anything to him, but I did admire him from afar.
That's like a really small world, but also it
Yes.
makes sense. If you're going
Yeah,
from
I feel like
Toronto.
he must be traveling back and forth a lot.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Hopefully it'll happen again.
Um, ooh, I love that. Okay, I want to pick some fan questions for you to answer now. Gonna look to see what we have. There are a ton here, so I'm kind of nervous to like start delving into
Ooh.
them.
Okay,
Um,
awesome.
okay, let's see what we have. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna start off with a not so question, but an easy one while I find more.
Not a question, but just want to say that I love Lauren more than anything. Well, thank you, Lauren XX Sweetie. I love you too, more than anything. And I feel like that is a good first question to start us off, even though
Yeah,
it might not
easy,
be an
right?
actual question.
Okay, so we talked about school a little bit and that you go to traditional school. So I'm just curious, what's your favorite subject? I want to know, and so does X underscore salsa Beal.
Ooh, okay, I would say this is kind of a very unpopular opinion, but I feel like math gets too much hate. I feel like it might also be because I'm only in grade 10 and it gets harder from here. But I would say math is up there, but maybe like art is number one. I've always said that recess is up there, but then they took recess away from us in high school, so I'm not still mad about that. But maybe art actually.
Ooh, okay, I love all of those ones. So this one's kind of an interesting question. Because obviously there are millions of people that follow you online, but what's it like when you actually meet them in real life?
It's really crazy, but also really cool because I get to actually talk to these people that I only ever hear from online and get to, I guess, put a face to the accounts that I see on Instagram.
Yeah.
And it's cool to be able to have actual conversations with like supporters whose edits I see on Instagram or whose comments I see.
Yeah. Have you ever like had a really memorable experience with one of your supporters, like something that's really stuck with you because it was really meaningful or it was really funny or anything like that?
Well, actually, this was pretty recently, but it was actually when I was in Milan for Fashion Week, and a group of girls came up to, it was like our whole family pretty
Mhm.
much, and they had roses for all of us, and they were like, they were so cute. They brought us all roses, and I thought that that was so special, and yeah, it was really great meeting them.
Oh, I love that. And like flowers are always the
I
key to
know.
someone's heart.
How cute.
All right, this one's super important during quarantine. We gotta know.
Ooh. What am I watching on Netflix? I started watching Love is Blind, which is a show where I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's like all of these people are meeting each other and getting married to each other or like engaged without ever seeing the other person, which is like kind of a crazy concept,
It's
but
insane.
also very interesting to watch, so I would recommend.
I watched that too, and it's like a roller coaster ride of emotions, but
It
definitely
is.
entertaining.
For
Um,
sure.
okay, let's talk music. We talked a little bit about you singing on the Next Level soundtrack. What are you listening to right now? What's your favorite song at the moment?
Ooh, okay. Well, as I mentioned, Shawn Mendes, any song from him is just my favorite, but I also really like Billie Eilish. I think that she's super cool. And yeah, pretty much like any of her songs and any of Shawn Mendes's. I'm pretty indecisive, so I would just have to go with like all of their music, you know?
Yeah, all of them. There's this one album that's it's like recorded. It's Shawn Mendes live at Madison Square Garden, and it's like recorded from there. And it's my favorite thing. I listen to it like every night before I go to bed because it's so calming. You can like hear the crowd, but you can also hear
Oh my
him like it's
gosh.
beautiful.
I
Check it
think
out.
I have a new nighttime routine. You just like inspired me.
Good. That's what I'm here for. Shawn Mendes fans unite. All
Yes.
right. This one's a little bit more serious, but I am curious. Like, if there's one thing that you wish more people could hear, teenage girls, like, what do you kind of wish that you had known, say, like 2, 3 years ago?
Ooh, okay. One thing that I would say that, so this is something that comes up a lot on the Sister Diary. I would say one thing that we always say is we talk about high school and how there's always a lot of drama in high school. It's really easy, sorry, to get pulled into it. And so I think just trying to remember that like high school is just such a small part of your life, and if people are being mean to you in high school, or your friends if you're like having trouble making friends, just remembering that it it's only 4 years of your life, and it might sound like a
Yeah.
long time when you're in high school, but after it you still have a whole life ahead of you. So try not to get too wrapped up in the drama of high school.
Yeah, and things can change so quickly too. Like
Hmm.
one day, it might feel super isolating and like lonely, and then the next day like something can happen to brighten your day. So I feel like
Yeah,
just knowing that things are constantly changing and that you're never stuck is like so important to remember. But I love that advice. I feel like that's important, even not even for people that are in high school, but you could be in middle school, you could be in college, and like just to remember that like whatever moment you're in right now, it's just one piece of your life, and there's so much more potential and opportunity out there. I love that, Lauren. All right,
thank
I
you.
have
Yeah.
one final question. I think this is a good one
Ooh.
to end on. What do you want to do next? What is in the plans? Give me the rundown. Do you have a bunch of things in the works? Do you have anything exciting coming up that you want to talk about?
Ooh, okay. I would say so I have like a few different areas. So I would say the podcast. I definitely would love to continue podcasting. I would say my like dream for the podcast would be to do live shows with my sister. I think
Yes,
that would just be the coolest thing ever. And
come to
so
New
I'm
York.
hoping that happens sometime. Oh yeah, of course. And then also I would say like acting wise, I would love to do another show or a movie again. I think that would be really cool. And then also maybe we talked about fashion a little bit. I
Yeah.
think it would be really cool to do something in fashion. Maybe like, I don't know, a clothing line or something one day. That would be really awesome. That's
Wait,
like a dream of mine.
yes, you have to. Like it now that you've said it, I feel like it's been manifested. It's
Yes,
gonna
that's what we're
happen.
going for.
I'm so excited for that. Um, Cool. Well, thank you so much. Like I said earlier, sorry, I was trying to exit out of this. It's not working.
No problem.
There we go. Thanks so much for hopping on. Like I said, it's like just nice to keep in touch with people. I know that everyone who tuned in today was obviously excited to hear what you've been up to and just hear you chat about all the exciting projects you have been working on the past year or so. And I had so much fun catching up too. So thanks for joining us today. Where can everyone follow you if they're not already following you right now and that's where they came from?
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. I had so much fun as well. And if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, it's LaurenOrlando88. And then pretty much everywhere else, it's just Lauren Orlando.
And obviously, you guys should follow Lauren on TikTok. Like I said, she's been killing the quarantine TikToks lately. I'm having so much fun watching them. You need to check them out. Lauren, have a great rest of your day. Say hi to the whole family for me, to Bentley, Leo. TigerBeat misses those guys, and good luck with school. Like I said, I know it's not easy doing it from home, and stay in touch, stay safe, everybody, and thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, bye.
Bye.